Matt. Well, deer season's right around the corner. I wanted to hop on here and make a quick gear video for y'all. Just gonna go over the gear that I've been running the last couple of years, my self-filming equipment, and just what's worked for me. And so let's go ahead and get into it. This right here is everything that I take into the deer woods on a daily basis. I've got my pack with my sticks, saddle, and platform on there. I can pack out a deer with this pack. And I've got my main camera right here and a fanny pack right here on my chest. It's real quick and easy to pull out. Rangefinder right here, easy to get a range when I'm going into the woods. Before we get into the video, the purpose of making this is just to give y'all an idea of how I set up and maybe something that you could use to really make your setup more efficient or what have you. For me, I hunt public land with a bow. That's what I love doing. I focus on woodsmanship and just reading sign going into the woods. And so being able to slip hunt is super important. That's what I do a lot. I slip into the woods as quiet as I can, trying to be like another animal. And so having all my gear quiet and tight to me really matters. I think a lot of times that's overlooked in these self-film, how you self-film your hunt videos and so on. They don't really talk about how you pack into the woods. And so I'm gonna start this video out like that. As you can see with my sticks, they are not sticking up real high. So when I'm walking in the woods, I can duck on branches, move around, get through stuff without getting tangled up. It is tight to my body and comfortable with it being a frame pack, and I'm set just like that. To go ahead and get into the video, we'll start here with my bow. I've got a GoPro mounted here on the front. Been running this for about 4 years now, and actually started using one mainly because of coyotes. I kept being in the woods and I'd see a coyote lip squeaking in or what have you, and I'd shoot it and I wouldn't have it on video, no way to film it or show the encounter to my family and friends, and that's kind of where it all started. And so I found a mount on Amazon, been running this now for about 4 years, and what I love about this is all you got to do is just push a button and you're able to record. So let's just say I'm walking in the woods, I'm slipping through here, you know, reading around, and I see a deer, I see a coyote. All I got to do real quick is I just hit that button up front. I can knock an arrow, and I'm ready to go. Just kind of go ahead and attach in. If it's happening quick, I can go ahead and draw back and just shoot it. If it's further out, I have the time to grab my rangefinder, get a quick range. I can drop it. Then I can get drawn back, and I can shoot just fine with my pack on. You can see here, my pack is on, and my camera's on my chest, and I can shoot. I can do all this. And so that right there is something I found to really come in handy. Is being able to have a GoPro up front. Ideal, I'd be able to take my pack off, and plenty of times I do. I take it off so that I can crouch down or what have you when it's coming in. But I've found myself in a pinch plenty of times where I've been able to do just what I did right there. When I've got my gear on, I just draw back real quick, shoot a coyote, whatever it is. For this year, I have upgraded my GoPro. In the past, I've been running a GoPro 10. This one is the GoPro 12. I'm trying out a new ND filter on the front to kind of help with the kind of this real sunny days. So still kind of figuring out the settings, gonna get some trial and error and with this one to figure out exactly what's right for the best quality. But as far as these GoPros, quality-wise, really you want things to be 20 yards and in. If it's past that, you can see it, it's just really not great quality. Ideal is when they're like 10 yards, 20 yards, 15 yards really. And I've got plenty of times where this comes in handy. But the settings on this are super important. Later in the video, I'm gonna get to my cameras. I'm gonna go over the settings and how to get the best quality out of your cameras. If you just throw GoPro on here without putting it on the right setting, or you put it on the super view and you're hoping to get good quality, it's not gonna happen. It is overlooked a lot. So I will get into that later into the video. I have this one wrapped up here in stealth strips, just kind of camouflage it. I don't want any of the lights or anything in the front. And so that's that. One other thing for self-filming that I really like are lighted Nocks. I'll talk about those later on, but really lets you be able to track where you hit the animal. That's one of the important things I like being able to see is where you hit the deer, and having a lighted Nock paired with just your GoPro goes a long way. And there's mounts on Amazon for like 20 bucks. Unfortunately, this one has since been discontinued, And so it is not an option anymore, but there are some other options that are very similar that I think would work just fine, that you can actually still have a stabilizer on your bow. I've shot mine the past 4 years without a stabilizer with the GoPro, so I'm used to it, but there is that option. There's also a company out there that has the mounts. You've seen the hunting public. They're sponsored by them. They get money from them that can either hold your phone or your GoPro. Those are out there. They are a little bit pricey, but they're supposed to really help with that vibration and shake. And so that is an option on there. Moving to the next thing would be my main camera right here on my chest. And this is the Sony AX53. It's a very subcompact camera. And why I like running it right here on my chest is many of you will have experienced this. When you're scouting or just going through the woods, you jump up a buck. It happens to all of us. You jump something up. If your camera's in your pack, you can't get to it. This way, when you're going through, I can just real quick see something, pull my camera out, and I'm on it. And I'm able to record and start filming it. And from a self-filming standpoint, having footage of the animals and stuff that you see is important for your video, the dialogue, for people to enjoy watching it. That is a big factor. And so being able to have your camera right here up front is super important to me, and it is awesome. Like I said, your hands free, everything's tight to my pack here. I'm good and I'm walking and I see something. If I got my bow in my hand, I can just set it down and I'm real quick, just like this, and it's ready to go. You hear that little click? There's a short pause while the camera processes. It takes about a second before you hit record, but other than that, it's really quick. As far as getting stable footage, holding the camera close like this with your elbows, it can look kind of funny, but holding it like this close to your body allows you to have a stable, real stable shot of whatever you're filming. You'll see the hunting public guys do that a lot, but I've kind of incorporated into when I film is having it close like that, and so it works. As far as mics and stuff, I'll get into that later. Like I said, I'll have everything laid out. I do have the camera kind of wrapped in stealth strips here to kind of camouflage it and dampen some of the noise. And so great option here. Absolutely love it. This is I put the price up for this camera on there. I want to say it's just over $1,000 off Amazon, and I've been running this for 4 years. I love it. The simplicity of running a Handycam. You don't have a lot of options when it comes to your controls, like your manual options like you would like with the DSLR, but it's very simple and easy to use, and it gets the job done. And so really love that feature and having it right here on my chest. Moving on to the next thing for self-filming is your cell phone. I use that a lot. Nowadays, the quality and audio on these things is awesome. Just to give you an idea of how I use it, if you watch any of my YouTube videos, I do a lot of my intros and stuff with my cell phone. So when I'm walking into the woods, I put my phone on the 0.5 mode, and I'll show myself walking, or let's say I'm in the woods and I'm showing a deer trail, some hard edge or whatever it is, a tree I'm gonna climb, or once I'm up in my tree, in my saddle, I'm using 0.5. Now for the quick little intros, let's say I'm going along and I wanna say what's going on, I'll take my phone and I'll reverse it and put it on the cinematic mode. And it's like this right here. This is the quality you can hear. Audio is great. You can see that the quality of the video is perfectly fine. And so it's as simple as you just pull it out of your pocket, record real quick, put it back in, and go to the next thing. I hope I'm not getting long-winded. I'm trying to go into detail and explain why I'm running everything. And I've got a lot more to learn. If y'all have any ideas on what would make something more efficient, please feel free to comment. At the end of the day, everything in this video that I'm showing y'all is stuff that I've tried and used for the past 4 years, and I figured out what works through trial and error. And everything in my setup is not gonna work for y'all, and I'm not pushing any of that. I just wanna give you ideas on things that I think are either overlooked or just not thought about when it comes to self-filming or just going into the woods. And I think a big thing is being quiet. You hear the Southern Outdoorsman guys, they've got some I mean, absolute killers that come on and talk about, that hunt here in the South or really all over, that talk about the importance of that, making the noise and being a woodsman and being quiet. And that's something that I've really been focusing on now for the past several years, is when I go into the woods, is trying to read the sign and be quiet. And so I've had to figure out how to get my gear quiet. And stealth strips are, by now everybody knows about them. My rangefinder's wrapped in them, and I love that stuff. I've got it on my bow, and it's a go-to. It keeps things quiet. You're having your sticks, your platform, your saddle, anything with metal, having it wrapped. Everything on my pack is, when I'm walking in the woods, I'm quiet. There's no jingle, banging, no noise. It is quiet. Obviously, some of that is going to be on you, on how quick you go about doing things. You can make extra noise. With that rain this morning, we walked in real quiet, so things are looking good. Well, shh, that was deer running off. And I will preference, I know this is a gear video, but I've yet to kill big deer, and I absolutely love hunting, and I'm still young, and I am just enjoying the process to learning. I've missed plenty of opportunities and made mistakes, and in my filming, I'm trying to do better at showing that whole process, the ups and downs of it, and just the reality of bow hunting. I think a lot of times people comment and they're hunting that much, or they're acting like, what are you doing? This is terrible. There's a lot that goes into filming your hunts and showing a story, and you could give 5 people that edit hunts all the same footage and a completely different story be told with how they either use music or how they kind of go about showing it. If they're good at taking that extra time to record that shot process, that's the thing with filming all the time. Once you filmed day in and day out, nothing happens. And then when you do kill something and you happen to be in a hurry, you know, to find the deer, to get the deer out and get it on ice or what have you, sometimes you miss different steps of recording, and that affects the quality of your video and the dialogue that goes in there. And so that's why I circle back to the iPhone. Having that in your pocket and being able to utilize that is super important, because at the end of the day, I don't care what gear you have, what you're running, being efficient with it and finding a process that's replicable on a daily basis is what's super important. Another thing that's not talked about is, where do you store all your footage? And I'll get into that here in a little bit. But you got to have a process to store all the footage from each day. So everything that I film on my iPhone, I got to airdrop it over to my laptop, to the external hard drive, to then store it so it's saved for later, to then when I go into editing. What type of laptop to get, you know, what type of editing software. I mean, the list goes on. I think the majority of you that are wanting to self-film your hunts, just use your phone or use a GoPro on your bow. For most of y'all, that's all you're wanting to do. I would definitely say, before you go buy something expensive this year, get you a GoPro. Something else that I really use a lot is a GoPro head mount. You can see that in a lot of my videos. I used that all last year, and I've done it so much to where I know exactly how to put it on my head to make sure it's lined up. The cool thing about the GoPro is you can connect it to the app really quickly, and on your app you can see the angle. And so let's say with your bow here, if you've got your bow, like once I'm up in a tree and I've got my bow, what I'll do is I'll turn my GoPro on, I'll draw my bow back, and when I'm in my saddle, and I'll kind of check all my shots. It takes like 30 seconds, you know, let down my bow, and then I'll go in and view that in the app, view that footage real quick to make sure my bow is lined up. And the nice thing about these GoPros is you literally just push a button and it turns on and it's ready to go. And that's something that I really like about these GoPros and using those. I guess the next thing would be my backpack. Before we get to a tree and I show you how I set up, we'll just kind of go over this real quick. Like I said, this is a frame pack. I'll put something up on the screen that shows the price and what type of pack it is. I've been running this pack for 4 years, and it is the perfect setup for a self-filming pack, for the way the climbing sticks fit in there. So right now, how I have it set up, I've got my camera arm in here, my saddle, my platform, and my climbing sticks. And something I love about this pack is not only are you able to pack a deer out, even with all your gear, but it's just how you can carry all your warm clothes when it gets colder later in the year. You can see how long these straps are right here. And I can show you whether you want to put some antlers on there for deer in the rut, or you just want to put one little hoodie on there, or then even as it gets colder, I've got the Solitude kit. These are just the Solitude bibs, but I've got the coat too. When it's like cold, all my extra clothes I put on here like this, and I'll just go in here and I can just strap it, break it down, and it'd be super tight and ready to go. It's tight to here. Like I said, I can wrap that strap around, have my antlers right here, so they're tight to here, no clanging around. And again, to go back to when you're slipping into the woods, being quiet and being like an animal in the woods is super important. And having quality gear and in a way to pack your stuff in, I think is super important. So regardless of what pack you have, I would encourage you, whatever you're currently using, figure out how to make it as quiet as possible and figure out a way to do something on a consistent basis. The way I pack everything in and out always stays the same, and so it just becomes repetition and just like muscle memory on how I pack everything in and how I'm being quiet. And so don't want to bore you with any more details on this. Like I said, there's lots of pockets options to hold pretty much everything you would want. But all that doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, you have what you need to bring into the woods. I have what I want to bring into the woods. But you do have those options. Next up, let's go and jump over to the tree, and I'll show you how I set up in a tree and just what's efficient and what I found to work for me. So this is gonna be the part where I get in a tree. So like I mentioned before, I pack everything in. I found a tree to climb. So let's say I found it. What I do, I just go ahead and set my bow down. I'll take my pack off here, and once the pack's here on my ground, all I gotta do is undo these two top straps right here, and then I'll undo this, take this one across, undo it, undo this one right here, and now it's opened up. This is my first stick that I climb with, so I normally stick it right here on the right side. I'll go ahead and wait on it. This is the one that's gonna attach to my saddle. I'll put that one right there. Here's my saddle right here, running a 2-panel saddle. I'll go ahead and stick that on the ground. I'll go ahead and stick my platform on the ground, and then from here, take my main camera, take my pouch off just like this here. I take it out of my pouch, and I just leave it right here in the top pocket of my backpack. From here, I'll go ahead and get my saddle. I'll put it on. I just leave this right here at the base of my tree, and I get everything attached. My pack right there on the side, I will go ahead and take my saddle here, and just take it over the top, grab each of the ends right here. This is probably about the second time I put this saddle on since last year, so some of this will take a little bit of time, a little bit of noise, but all of this can be done efficiently when you're just doing it on your own. I'm trying to film it and trying to do this stuff in one take. So I'll go ahead and get my saddle on. What I do with my bridge, I just go ahead and tuck it in right here. I will go ahead and take my first stick. This one right here is a little skeleton stick. I will unwrap my aider. I've got a 2-step aider on it, and I go ahead and I can put this up about 8.5 feet. For filming purposes, I'm gonna go ahead and put my platform on and not actually climb up the tree. But that is the process that I use. So this first one, I'm using the Skeletor. I ordered these, and really I really don't like them very much, especially not these orange tabs. But again, I'm a big advocate of once you buy something, make it work, figure it out, and get used to it. I don't like spending more money every year on things that I don't need to. I think every year there's new products that come out, and people waste their money on it. That's not always what kills you a deer. For my second stick, I used my original one that I had from the very beginning, ever since I started hunting. This is the Hawk Killiam stick, the full inch, the full 3 steps. And I really like that for when I'm climbing up. I like to be able to hold on to something when I'm stretched out and getting up before I get to the platform. So those are my 2 sticks. I can attach them. What I normally do is I attach my platform on this side, and I've got my stick over here on this side here. So I can just go ahead and show you. I can clip that on right there and clip my platform on. That way I can go up in one trip. Before I clip those on, I'll go and tie my bow off. My bow will be tied on, and then I'll climb up the tree once I put my pack on. That way I can go up in one trip, which again, we acts like a big deal, but I think at this point, everybody goes up a tree in one trip. I mean, if you don't, after a few times, you're gonna figure out how to. So, gone ahead, got on my platform, and I've gone ahead and attached my tether. So from here, I'm gonna show you exactly what I do moving forward. Once I get my tether in, I'll go ahead and remove my linesmans, and I'll go ahead and put that away here in my pouch over here on my left side. And from here, I take the tail end of this, do a quick little loop, turn it over, just do a little tie like that. I put it right here on my main carabiner, and from here, I will take my pack off. All right, go ahead, take it off here, and goes right to the tree like this. First thing I do here is I'll take out my camera arm. Go ahead and get that camera arm out. Got my strap right here in my dump pouch, and I just go ahead and I will skip through this part and get this attached to the tree, and then we'll come right back to you. All right, so from here, I get my camera on here, and I like it about right there. I'll go ahead and kind of tighten it up a little bit. You just get it turned down just like that, and then it's set and secure. From here, I'll just go ahead, I pull out my main camera, just pull it right out of my backpack, and I clip it right onto here, tighten that up, and I'll go ahead typically from here and put my rangefinder on, or I'll just kind of clip it on over here, however you want. Before I put my backpack on there, I'll just go ahead and take out my little knee pad here. This is a simple knee pad, garden knee pad off Amazon for 10 bucks. Save your money, don't go buy all the knee pads, expensive pads. Literally get this off of Amazon for 10 bucks, and yeah, it's the move. I have a trail camera strap on there. I just take it around the tree, I put it on there, and again, this whole process, it may look a little funny of me doing it, but once you do it a couple times, it's quick. You can tuck away your tail end stuff. From there, I'll take my pack, I'll pull my straps up here so nothing's just hanging loose, and I'll go ahead and attach it on that bottom run right there. This is my safety connection, and there's a little lip right there. I can go ahead and put that on, and like I said, normally I'll get all that stuff, kind of get it put away. From there, I'll go ahead and pull my bow up real quick. So we'll get my bow up here. All right, once I get my bow pulled up here, really cool thing about this setup, I don't have to attach anything extra to the tree. I've already got my bow holder and my quiver holder right there. So I'll just go ahead and knock an arrow onto my bow. We'll get it knocked. Take the quiver off. Bow goes right here on my strong side, and I'll replace my quiver for my rangefinder. Rangefinder will go back on, and right here I am ready to hunt. As simple as that. I normally run my lapel mic and stuff. I run that in here. I'll attach that to my main camera. A really cool thing about this shotgun mic is that for this camera, it allows you to run the shotgun mic up front and connect to a wireless mic up close for whispering, that quiet talking. And so I really like that. This extra rope here, we'll go ahead and get that out of the way. That wouldn't be, I always, once I put my bow on, I pull all this up and just get it tucked away in my pouch. And really, that process just takes as long as however long you want to take it. Whether you want to go real quick or you want to take your time. I normally take my time. It typically takes me 15 to 20 minutes to get set up. And I love these guys that make these videos that say they do it in 5 minutes. And I'm like, I don't understand people doing it that way. I'm not in a race to get up the tree. Now, I do try to be quick, but I want to be quiet at the same time. And so, to each their own. You can be as fast as you want or go as slow as you want. One of the cool things about this backpack is that side pocket. You saw how I just pull my camera arm out and put it on the tree, and then take my backpack off this and just put it over there. And on my tether here, all I'm doing is I'm taking this rope right here, I just loop it over, and literally just like you're gonna tie a shoe, I just put it over once and I loop it through, not real tight, and it gets this little end, put it on the top so you don't got all that extra tether, and it's also somewhere to hang your pack to put it on like you saw there. And I can still adjust way down if I need to. I want to get real low. However I want, I can adjust that when it's on the tree like that. And the next cool thing is my bow. I'm sitting here, I'm ready to go. Just as simple as I pull it off, I can knock on, I'm ready to go. Deer sneaks in on me, what comes in handy? The little GoPro up front. Can just hit it and be able to shoot. And cool thing about the saddle, and why I like picking smaller trees, is you can wrap all the way around them. Keep the tree in between you and the deer. You've all seen those videos. But that is why I like the smaller trees. especially being able to watch them. I had an instance last year where I was in a really big tree and I could not read the body language of one of the does, and they were acting skittish. It was towards the end of the year, so they had been pressured, and I was in a real big tree, so I mean I could not see the deer. And about 15-20 yards, and I went to draw back to come around the tree, and they just all took off and went running. And that is the main reason why I like being in a small tree. They're the easiest to climb. It's enough to keep you hidden. Obviously, finding cover and everything, that's a whole nother deal. I'm not going to make a video on that. There's people that have a video out there for that, but really that just comes down to common sense and just learning, figuring out what works. And I'm still learning to figure out what works. I just wanted to kind of give you all an idea about the setup here. But yeah, with the bow, with the saddle like this, I can go ahead and draw and I'm ready to go. I can shoot here behind me. Twist, it's all about using your hips here for your pivot points. I like having that pad around the tree because I can keep one foot on and have my knee come around and I can shoot wherever. A tricky shot is the weak side shot right here, and I found myself in that situation where when something's coming in and you can't decide if you should stay, like you can't move over, it's coming over here. Sometimes you got to bring your bow up over your bridge. It's a hard shot because your body gets twisted, torqued real bad. And so I don't recommend doing this shot. Definitely practice it some with your bow before you do it. But a key right here is to twist your hips. So I turn my hips all the way to my right. And so then it's not as bad. So then now you can see, look, I'm turned all the way over like this. And it's not as bad as a shot, but it can, that way you can shoot right here close on this weak side if that's the only option. So I think that right there is going to cover it for in the tree. Quick overview on the setup. As you can see, I keep it pretty simple. I've got a 2-panel saddle. Been running this for 4 years. I'm actually going to be upgrading it and my ropes for this upcoming year, just out of a safety precaution. I get in the woods a lot. I'm very fortunate to be able to hunt and climb 200 plus trees a season. And so it's time, I felt like, from a safety standpoint, to upgrade. So got a new saddle that I've got to get kind of dialed in and set up that I came across back at the Deer Expo in Birmingham earlier this summer. And I've always liked the 2-panel saddle. I've got to figure out how I want to get it set up. But as you can see with all my gear, everything's mix and match. I've got like a Tether little pouch right here, something when I first got a saddle from Tether. Over here is just a pouch off of Amazon. I am not stuck to one brand, and I'd encourage y'all to do your research, and before you just go buy a bunch of things, try to dial in what you currently have and weigh the options of price and weight. I think weight is a big concern, and it's definitely an important thing to look into. But I think sometimes we get too caught up in our gear and not caught up in our hunting. And your hunting ability is what's going to kill you deer. And your gear definitely helps. You don't want to have junk gear, but some of that stuff, when it comes to certain ounces between sticks and things, I think is just, it's too much. Again, I want to reiterate, the most important thing is to become efficient with your current setup. Whether you're using a climber, a hang-on, a saddle, however you want to do it, having an efficient way of setting up in a tree and having a replicable process to where you do the same thing each time. And so pretty much from here, once I'm set up and I want to get down, I leave my bow, I take that bow down last. What I'll do from here is I'll just go ahead and take my pack, undo it off that little safety one, clip it right here to my tether, and I'm good. So first up is going to be my camera. It goes right in here in the top of my pouch. Just kind of stick it in there, slide it in, and it'll just sit right there. It's ready to go. From here, I just go ahead and let me flip my release over. I undo my camera arm here. And again, all this does take time. You can figure out how to be quick. That's not what this video is for. Goes in just like that. Camera strap goes right in here. I'll go ahead and take my bow rope. I'll throw it out. Camera strap goes in there. From here, I'll go ahead and take my strap off the tree. And when you're packing up, it's important to put everything up the way you're going to use it when you come back out. And so I'll go ahead and wrap all this up. I don't put my pad back on the backpack. I will just tighten up that strap and I just drop it on the ground. And so from here, I'll go ahead and take my bow rope, attach my bow over onto my bow rope, lower it down. From there, backpack comes right off. I mean, this is pretty common sense stuff. Comes right off. Lineman's belt comes right out of its pouch. I'll take off my tether, go ahead and put it right back in here. It's in first, climb down the tree. And it's as simple as that. There's a lot of different ways to pack up and so on. So figure out what works for you. This is what works for me. Wanted to go over my bow hanger real quick. I have it attached to my tether, and this holds my quiver right here. And you do not have to be on your saddle once you put it on there, as you can see. That knot that's right there, if you just flip it over and put it on that way, your quiver and bow will stay on the tree just fine when you are not having weight on it. So when you're, I think that might have been a concern with some of y'all, thinking if you pull off your tether, stand up or something, your bow is going to stay just fine up there on that hanger. And love that setup. Been working for me for a while now. I forgot to mention how high I can get with my setup. I run 2 sticks with a double step aider, and with the platform I can get anywhere from 18 to 22 foot, and that just depends on if I take the platform and have the stick below it and kind of go above, like step up an extra foot. Sometimes I do that, and that'll allow you to get up even higher. But yeah, with my setup with just 2 sticks is what I run the majority of the year. I can get right there around 20 foot, no problem. And for reference, I'm 6'1", and especially like I said, early season, it's a lot easier to step up on, make higher stretch. So that first stick, when I'm putting it on the tree, I will take it and put it as high as I can reach. And so that'll be about, 8.5, 9 foot to the tree, depending on the setup. Just wanted to throw that out there. Later in the year, there are times when I swap over and run a couple extra sticks. But this year I'm actually going to be doing some 1 stick, and excited to try that. Should save me some time when it's cold, packing up and being able to rappel down. So I'm excited to try that this coming year. All right, here's everything that I'm going to be running this year. I am trying a new main camera. This is a Sony Z90. It's an expensive camera. I'm going to have to figure that one out. This is a new control for it, remote, and going to be trying new wireless mics this year, going with the Rode ones. And so I will put a screenshot of each of these things, and like if I mention any of the settings or the price of what I got them for, I'm going to find that and put it on the screen. So this is new for this year. Going to be trying that out. Gonna have to play with it, figure it out. This is a heavier camera, but it just gives me a lot more options, closer to the style of what like the hunting public is running for some of them stuff. This camera is definitely heavier and not as compact as this AX53 Sony that I mentioned before is my main camera here in the past that I run in a fanny pack. I've got a bigger sized fanny pack ordered for this one so I can still run this in my chest if I do run this as my main camera, just because I like having that option to break it out. And so that's there for this camera. The years past, I've been running this wireless mic. I put it on the screen. And as far as the shotgun mic on this one, I found this one on sale last year. I want to say I got it for like $40. I think now it's about $100, but it's got an option to where you can run the shotgun mic up front and then attach this wireless mic and connect it with a separate wire so that you can hear that quiet whisper. And it's pretty good audio. Still figuring that out, but I've got that. This camera definitely has a lot more options. This whole video so far has been filmed on this camera and the audio from these Rode mics. Still figuring those settings out, so if it's not perfect, it's because I'm brand new to it. As far as control arm, I've run this control arm for the last 2 years, and I have really liked it. Do not know what it's called. I'll link it. I want to say it's about $70. But with this Sony cam, there's no option on the remote to change your focus, but you can zoom in and out, turn it on and off, record, And so this has been a great option. I've had that for some time now. This one here, that's going to be for the new camera, it does have that option for your focus and different things. I'll fool with that, but don't have much experience with that one just yet. I'm also going to be trying out an external monitor, bigger screen, try to do better quality as far as being able to get the shot and stuff. So I will be running that some this year with both these cameras, but I'm brand new to it, so I cannot recommend or really say much about it. But just to have a bigger screen size versus like here, you're looking at like, what is that? 3 inches, whatever it is, versus this one is a 5-inch screen. So that'll be cool to run. It does add to extra things to carry, worry about breaking and so on, but I've got that. As far as the GoPros go, the typical little gooseneck mount here, you see those on Amazon. You can get them anywhere from $10 to $15. I run those. This one's been spray painted. For my GoPros this year, a big one, I run the GoPro mount. But as far as the GoPros, my main GoPros, this is the GoPro 12. And I will put up a screenshot or what settings you should run for your camera, like on which camera angle mode and so on. I'm going to put that up for, it's the same really for what's on my bow and when I wear this on my head. These are the best settings to run to give you the best quality. You can try that out, play with it. This year I showed you on my bow, I do have that ND filter, so I have an option to put one on here as well, just to try to help with the extra bright days. But something I am trying on this camera is fooling with the shutter speed mode to kind of help when it's super bright. That is the downside of this Sony AX53, is that middle of the day, the footage, you'll see it's not great. It's like way too bright, but I've just kind of come across figuring out how to go to the settings and play with the shutter speed and change it. So if you change it to like 120, it's good. So I'm still getting all that figured out. As far as saving all your footage, you gotta have some form of external hard drive. This one right here is a little bit more of a pricey one, but it is supposed to be drop safe. And I got that because I've lost a whole terabyte of footage of all the first hunts I ever filmed because I had a cheaper external hard drive. And so this is what I download everything on. This is a 5 terabyte. I'll put that option there, a 5 or a 2 terabyte. You got to have some type of storage. You'll definitely want that, especially just start filming your hunts and saving all your footage, and then eventually you can get into your editing. Always have extra batteries. I like having an extra SD card as well. GoPro batteries, I carry those with me. You want to get the Enduro ones for the GoPro. They do well when it's cold. One other thing to note about your GoPro for the settings, when it's warmer, like this early season, if you're running your GoPro on like 5K 60 frames per second, it is going to overheat. So I recommend running it probably like on 4K 30 frames just to kind of help with that. For those times when you turn it on and it's going to be on for an extended period, you may find your camera overheating. And so that's just something to be aware of. As far as saws, I'm trying out this new one this year. It is a tiny little blade. I'll open it up. It's very small, but it's a lot lighter than this bigger saw. And it's just, sometimes something comes up, you got a small branch when you're in a tree you need to cut, this will work. These lighted Nocks are a knockoff brand. I forget the brand, I'll put it on there. I want to say you can get 6 of them. Just check the diameter size for your arrow. And these right here last a very long time. Been running these for a while. Don't waste your money on the real expensive ones. This is a knockoff brand and it is where it's at. And I really think that about covers it. I use game bags for packing out my deer. All my deer now, I pack them out. I've got some latex gloves, extra blades, some band-aids if you cut yourself. If you do enough deer, that's gonna happen. This is a Havalon knife. I wanna say you can get them for around $40 with those changeable blades. This is what I use to skin and also cut up my deer. I use this. This is my go-to. If I go back to the truck, I have a bigger knife that I use with interchangeable blades. It's like more like a butcher knife that I'll cut everything up with. Well, that should be everything I had to cover for the video. I think at the end of the day, whatever you're running, most important thing is to be able to get it dialed in and become efficient with it. And by no means do I want you to go out and get this exact gear, especially when it comes to filming. Before you go buy an expensive camera, or especially something like this, try videoing first with your phone. I would recommend for the majority of y'all, even if you're wanting to put some on YouTube, get you a GoPro, mount it to your bow, or use like a head mount. I will say at first it feels kind of awkward. It's kind of uncomfortable wearing this on your head. It is a cool angle when you're shooting your bow, but get you a GoPro and run that and use that to film your hunts this upcoming season. Flip out your phone, film some, and then store your footage. Store your footage on some external hard drive. That's what I did for several years before I ever got around to making a YouTube channel and learning how to edit and upload stuff. Is I started just filming hunts and storing all the footage. And then at some point, as you kind of break that learning curve and get time, you can start putting that stuff out there. And at the end of the day, all this stuff, you don't necessarily need to get for you. I've still got a lot to learn when it comes to dialing in my setup and especially hunting in general. And for this channel, I'm wanting to do better at sharing what I learned, the woodsmanship side of things, and just better quality videos. And wanting to be transparent up front with y'all and showing y'all what I use, and that it does take a lot of effort to make YouTube videos. So if you're trying to make videos, I just want to say, I want you to realize what you're getting into before you just think, hey, I'm just going to start making YouTube stuff. For me, I would film my hunts even if I didn't have YouTube. There's just something about it that I absolutely love. It's what I started doing, just filming for family to show them. And then as time went on, I started, I guess, getting a little bit better at it. I'm still not good at it, but filming for YouTube. But I just like being in the woods. The Lord has blessed me with that opportunity to be out in the woods a lot. And I love hunting. Probably as much as you, maybe more than you actually. But I like focusing on woodsmanship and being honest, straightforward, candid. I keep a pretty simplistic approach to my hunting videos. And so that's really going to cover it. If there's something you want to add, just leave it in the comments. If you got questions, y'all help each other out. If folks coming to this are looking at figuring out their setup for this upcoming year. So no, this has been a long-winded video. Did my best to do it in one take. And probably could have been better, but did the best I could. I may at some point go more into detail on my filming setup and maybe climbing. But for now, what you got today is what you're gonna get. And so next time you see me, I'm gonna be in the deer woods hunting. So good luck to y'all this year. We'll catch you on the next one.